Good afternoon, folks. Hope you've all been well. See, Sam Neil's here. Missed you too, man. And Big Shark, the Master of Bricks, 7580 says, finally. Yes, I'd off be back from my travels and got some time free now to do some painting, which has been a long time coming. So starting a new frame again today. We're getting very close to finishing the frames of episode 1 of Dino-Defenders, and I think this frame might just be a standard sort of jungle fare. The last one we had people walking through the forest, and this one is going to be a kind of maybe let me just try and work out what I'm going to do. Characters come through. Yeah, so okay, I might do like an overhead one. Let me just see if I can get this right. There's going to be the walkway that we were seeing in the last stream, but it's going to be like almost like from above, and we're going to be looking at it, which I'll probably have to get rid of that here. Place that around about there. And then we're going to have some like trees. I'd say that probably... Ooh, what's happened there? Why is that so much thicker now? Why did that suddenly change? Free. Yeah. It's funny because at this time you'll be looking at it and be thinking like, what is he drawing? But hopefully it'll make sense soon. And I hope the volume of the music's not too overpowering. Seems to be quite loud in my ears. I'm actually just going to tweet out that I'm live right now. Okay. a bend in this, but I don't want it to be... Oh yeah, that's quite good. And then, so that's gonna like disappear under a canopy of a tree that's gonna be like this. Big Shark, the Master of Bricks, 7580 asks, so what do you think of the new Battle Damage toys by Mattel? I think they look really cool. I really like the look of the Concavenator and the Albertosaurus. I think they look like fun toys. The thing is though, I always, because I live in the UK, I always get the, like, a lot of that stuff's very hard to find over here. Why is it doing that? Did I figure that out last time? Yeah, why are you connecting up? I don't know. But yeah, because I live in the... Oh, do you know what? Whoa. I forget when I go from my other computer to this one. What is going on here? Okay. But yeah, so because I live in the UK, they're very hard to find. So like my opinion on those like action figures is like, well, if they were available, you know, easily in the UK, I'd probably have a bit more of a higher opinion of them, if I'm honest. But they're like, it's kind of like a, oh, they're nice kind of reaction to them. It's like, oh yeah. If they were widely available in the UK, then yeah, I might pick some up for my nephew or something. But then again, I don't tend to actively go out hunting toys all that often. Actually, do you know what? They should be wider at the top. I'm going sort of. Like this. I have to say, I saw the new, what's that, I forget the name of the T-Rex now. They've released like a new T-Rex that's like brown. And I think it's for the Dino Rivals toy line. And that thing like looks like a you know, a dream toy for someone. For if I was a kid, that would be like, I want that because of the dark colour scheme of it and the way it looks. Oh, thank you, Michael Pierce. Just says, I just tweeted out now about your stream tomorrow. Linked our fans to your Patreon. Go support Dino-Defenders, people. Thanks, man. Yeah, tomorrow should be fun. I don't know what sort of time I'm thinking of doing it. I'm guessing because you're in Australia, Michael, I'll probably have to do it around this time. Just so you can watch along live. I wouldn't want to like do it when you're asleep or anything. But yeah, I loaded it up earlier, and I got to see the intro. You know, where the machine is being turned on, and then I got it to the sort of beginning, and then I thought, right, okay, I don't want to explore any further until I'm live streaming. So. I'm just going to roughly draw. That is really annoying me. What is going on? Why is it doing that? It's like if I draw like... It's not going to do it now, is it? Yeah, it's like I draw like a line. I'm just drawing a line and it finishes it with a circle. Big Shark says the colossal T-Rex. No, it's like a it's like a brown. I wonder if I can show you. I saw it on Instagram. Just trying to see if I can find. Where is it? Oh no! Trust me not to like the post. Let me just see if I can find it quickly. Yeah, this thing. The bite and fight Tyrannosaurus. I don't know if you guys are going to see this. It's like a brown T-Rex, or like greyish. It's basically like a repaint of the other one. That's probably really blurry, but that I would absolutely love to get one, just for my own personal satisfaction. But finding that thing, or finding someone to seek one out, I'm thinking maybe after Christmas I'll properly hunt one of those down. So anyway, Michael Pearce says, for me it's 9 PM here in Perth. Really, any time should be good. If you have time in mind, I'll do my best to make my work. On my end, I wouldn't miss it. Oh, excellent, man. That one is in stores already. Yeah, in America it's in stores, but not where I live, as far as I know. But then again, as I said, I haven't really actively been going out and looking, because you know, if I was young, I'd be like, I think I'd be all over that. But you know, I'm old, John. I'm sort of out of the toy game for the most part, unless it's for my nephew. But he's already, we've already got some things for him. So the Endoraptor he's going to be getting for Christmas. The big Endoraptor. Spoken to Santa, and he came back and said, "The Endoraptor. Oh, oh, oh. I can do that for him." Yo, Ansel, how are we doing? Dr. Aaron Cooler. Dr. Aaron Cooler. Dr. Acula. So stupid. Right, so let me make a new layer. And then just sort of make a path of what I see in my head. Okay, so that's just sort of like a general idea of where the ground is, and now I can go back onto this layer and add sort of more of the lines. I really don't like this thing. What is going on? Let me just see if I can Google it again. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so that creates a line like that. Still doing it. Why? Gosh darn it. Ah, there we go. Right, it's that thing. I need that thing on. Because if I do like a little... Come on. If I do a little circle, yeah, you can see like the line joins up and it creates like a little semicircle even though I'm just drawing one line, which is really irritating. Click this on and it's back to sketchy sketch. Good. Thank God for that. So now I can actually just sketch, and that's what I want. What are you guys saying? Big Chuck says, I think Mattel should be working on some of the new figures in the films, just random characters like the mercenaries as toys. Yeah, I think Mattel, it would be wise if Mattel focused on humans. Because they are important. They're just as important as dinosaurs. I agree there. Zul says, Streaming Jack is back, yo Zul. How was Japan, asked Sam Neill. It was great. It was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Saw lots of stuff. Went to the Studio Ghibli Museum, which was amazing. Although you know their exhibitions weren't, they were all in Japanese, so it was like it was good to walk around a museum but just look at pictures. They had a few interactive things, like you could see how the history of animation, the way they show different ways of animating in one exhibition, which was really cool. Tokyo was really awesome. It was very busy and noisy, but like in a good way. Except for there was this siren that went off at like 1 in the morning. And I kid you not, it sounded like an air raid siren. And I was freaking out when I heard this thing. I was like, what is that? Why does it sound like an air raid siren? And for some reason it went off every single night at like 1 o'clock. And so I had a difficult time sleeping in Tokyo for the most part. But that would be just down to where we were staying, so... yeah, we went to Hiroshima. And that was very thought-provoking. And we had the best night out drinking in Hiroshima. We went to this little tiny bar and met some people there who lived locally, and we had a good old night. My wife ended up breaking out a guitar that was there and singing along with them, and it was we had a jolly good old time. Michael Pierce says, by the way, Jack, remember how I told you earlier this year how you guys inspired me to want to make a documentary on our journey with Make a Jurassic Explorer, similar to what you did with Tim? Well, it's officially begun production, and we're hoping at the end of this month to release a teaser. Nice. Nice. That's what I like to hear. That is what I like to hear. Zul says, as I would like to stay, sadly I can't because it's now furthering my studies. So I'm now furthering my studies. Well, good luck, man. Focus on that. Don't worry about what we're doing here. I'll always archive the streams so you can watch them back. And that way you won't be missing out. Well, I say always archive the stream. It always depends on how good the stream is. If it's like kind of a boring stream and there's like not much conversation happening, then I probably won't save it. But if the conversation's good, then I will. But I'll always make sure that the best ones are always saved so people can catch up on them later on and won't miss out. I just realised something, I messed that up. Michael Pierce says, love the memorial you showed from Japan. Must have felt crazy standing there. Which memorial was that again? Was that the Peace Memorial in Hiroshima? Is that the one you're mentioning? Or another one? Am I missing something? Big Shark, the Master of Brick, says, have you seen Clayton's latest video? Yeah, I've watched the one about the plesiosaur. That's the last video of Clayton's I've caught up with. I don't know, is that the latest one? I think it is. Michael Pierce says, "Oh, Master. Sorry, I'll get back to you, Michael. Big Shark, the Master Brick says, if you have seen Clayton's video, how big is the battle damaged plesiosaur toy from Mattel? No idea. No idea. Michael Pierce is excited for the holidays. Right now, I'm chilling, watching this stream, drinking eggnog, and sitting under my Christmas lights. Nice." Yes, he was referring to the Hiroshima one. Yeah, it was insane to stand there knowing that like 600 meters above our head was where the bomb went off all those years ago. It was just insane. And the main reason we actually wanted to go, well, one of the main reasons I wanted to go to Hiroshima was to like obviously learn about the history of it all, because it was actually a kind of part of history that I sort of vaguely knew about. And also I figured it would be kind of a disservice to call myself a Godzilla fan and go to Japan and not go see that, because the character of Godzilla is basically, you know, born from the reaction to the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs. So I figured it was like, you know, a kind of almost duty for myself to go there as a fan and sort of pay my respects to, you know, all the lives that were lost sadly there. So yeah, it was very moving and weirdly, you know, it left me with a kind of weird sense of optimism, because like you leave this like museum where they talk about all like what happened, and then you know, knowing, and there's pictures of like the city and stuff completely destroyed and gone and just decimated by the bombs. But then when you come out, you come into a city that is like a brand new city that has been born from the ashes of that one, and it's like a bustling metropolis, and it's like it's kind of strange. Like, this city is so young, based on the fact that they had to build all what you see there from the ground up after the bomb had struck. So it's like, yeah, it was really, really, really interesting place to visit. And as I mentioned, the best place that we went out drinking, funny enough. Our whole trip there, we went out on nights out, not specifically to drink, but just to go socialise, and Hiroshima was the best one out of all of them. And what else are you saying? Excited for the holidays? Yeah, I am excited for Christmas. We've got our decorations up, and I'm excited because I'll finally, I'll finally be owning Fallen Kingdom, because when that got released on Blu-ray over here, I was going to go buy it, and then my wife was like, "Nope, don't go get it." And so I have to wait, as per my wife's request. Okay, let's join these layers up. Just gonna get rid of these lines. So you can see this is going to be like a big open sort of vista shot of this sort of opening in the trees, and there's this walkway coming out and going down here. Disappearing off further into the jungle. But now I'm going to add like loose colour, but I'll merge these layers first. And we'll just add some basic colours. Maybe I'll start with the browns. Do you know what? I'm thinking I might actually paint this with watercolours. Just think how I can do this. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay. So let me adjust. What I'm going to do is just get a bit of paper and sort of recreate what I've just drawn on here very roughly. Jacob Arnold says, "Hey Jack, some people don't like that you've done what you've done with the JP lore, like making Isla Sorna a dead island with no more dinosaurs on it, and view what you have to say." Oh, I don't know the view bit. Isla Sorna, and what do you have to say to those people? Maybe wait. Maybe there's a reason. I don't know. I wouldn't say we've outrightly said that Isla Sorna is a dead island. We just made the DPG report that that's what they've discovered. So right, gonna draw. I'm putting the bit of paper. I don't know how I look on camera doing this. I've put the bit of paper on the screen, and then I'm just going to roughly draw around this. Big Shark says, "I'm getting excited about Christmas film-wise. Die Hard and Home Alone." Yeah. I love Polar Express. I'm going to be watching that, I think, soon. I think Polar Express might be the most Christmassy film ever made. Ooh. Jacob Arnold says, "Hey Jack, what do you have to say to people like at Bennett Fender who say the DPG is just, quote, fan-made nonsense?" I say that he can say whatever he likes. But I would like to know your sources for that, Jacob Arnold. Where did he say that? Is that coming through okay? Yeah. I probably shouldn't be doing this too hard because I'm doing it on my screen. But it should be okay. Just roughly drawing around the edge. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm just sort of roughly doing it on paper, so that way I can transfer it over to watercolors. And I'll get back to the chat in a second. Ooh. Let's just add this bottom bit. Oh, I'm just going to add the corners of the picture. So we're going to have a bit of a camera change in a moment. Yeah, okay. Right, so let me save this and then go on to here and make me bigger. Oh! Whoa! 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 Yeah. Alright, get this. Point it down. Gonna turn the filter chroma key off. Okay. Oh, see, this is the wrong way up, isn't it? Oh, well. Firstly, let's focus. Do you know what? I'm gonna bring the camera around. I want it to be like here. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. Aha! Thank you, Evolution of Claire. Just going to use that. And plonk that on the book. And then point down and just move the keyboard a little bit. Get it so you guys can see. Try and move that like this. Oh crap. Oh yeah, there we go. That'll do. Get some light over here. Okay. Sort of my botched version of sorting out a live stream where you can watch me actually paint the next part. So let's do this. Got my paints all here. Got my water. Let's do it. Michael Pierce says, by the way, congrats on you guys putting up the Facebook page and over 1,000 followers in a few days. Amazing. Yeah, we just crossed 5,000, I believe, this morning, which is incredible. Now, I will apologise in advance for knocking the camera over because it is right in front of my face. Oh, I nearly dipped it in my tea. Right, let me just have a sip of Earl Grey. And move my water over here. Oh. And change places. Jacob Arnold, I know you're quoting these people, and while I would love to answer these questions, you need to source them. I want to see the sources of these claims, because I'd just be going off your word, and for the most part, you know, I don't want to like discuss something that someone said when I haven't actually seen or heard them say it, if that makes any sense. So all these watercolored pictures that I'm doing, I hopefully one day will be able to do a giveaway or a competition or something, so people can own some of these when Dino-Defenders is all said and done. Obviously, we're talking way into the future. Jacob Arnold says they're in the comments section under Clayton's videos. Well, I'm not fussed. Like, honestly, I would not concern myself with the comment section under someone's video. That's a dangerous might not be the right word. That's a pointless exercise. YouTube comments are notorious for being a place of trollery and idiocy. And when people actually... Well, I mean, I post in comments on YouTube videos, but that's just to say whether I like something or have an interesting tidbit of information on something, but I wouldn't be too concerned with what people are saying in comments. But I see stuff said about me all the time, so nothing new, nothing new. Big Sharks, the Brick says, do you think we should get a repaint of the Carnotaurus with battle damage? Yeah, that would be awesome, because then like you could have the black and red one that we see right at the end of Fallen Kingdom. I'm just gonna get this lamp because I'm caught on a T-Rex. I'm gonna get this lamp and put this lamp. I'm just gonna try and put it in a place where aha. Okay, bit of a cramped setup. Is that focused enough for you guys? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's probably the best we're going to get it. Do you know what? Saying that, I might just make it a little bit smaller. It might just... Oh no. It might just be a bit too big. I'll put it in the middle of Photoshop there, like, just to freak anyone out who comes into the stream. They'll be like, how is he doing this? That looks fine. Yeah, I just sort of made it a little bit smaller, just so it's easier on the eyes. Oh, there is a lot of water there. But keep in mind, this is just rough painting. This is not like going to be obviously the final thing, because this will be going into the computer for further digital editing. Big Shark asks how dinosaurs are going to be in your show. Do you mean how are they going to... what would you say? How are they going to appear in the show, or how did they get into the story? Okay. Roberto says, how close are you to finishing the first episode of your online series? Pretty close. Like, I've got to finish the frames, and obviously time is getting the better of me at the moment because I've just started 2 new jobs to make a living, and so like I'm just gonna have to do it when I can. But also, yes, it's still got to. Once I've got the frames finished, it'll go off to the composer, and then, like I said previously, it'll basically be waiting for the composer to finish. But once episode 1 is finished and out there, I think it'll give people more of an incentive to see whether or not they do want to help the cause. Because, you know, right now it's just like bits and pieces all over the place, and trusting a vision that you can't see at this time. So that's why I highly appreciate everyone who's supporting the Patreon right now, because, you know, I have not got anything out there really to show at the moment. There's a few bits, but like not like a whole episode with dialogue and music and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's just about trust at the moment, and right now I think the people who are supporting the Patreon are amazing. But I think, yeah, as I said, once episode 1 is out, I think that'll give people more inclination of what it's going to be. So Jurassic Collectibles says, "What is this sorcery?" Well, I'm doing a watercolor. Oh, I'm going to try and show you on here. I'm doing a watercolored version of that, which if I fit screen or zoom out 1, there's like this vista shot, and I want to add the texture on it. So yeah, so Photoshop for I'm going to blend these two, but I'm doing like a watercolored version of this. So yeah. But I've put the window in Photoshop, so it looks kind of funny. Photoshop watercolor mode. Yes, exactly. And Big Shark, the Master of Bricks, says story-wise. Well, the dinosaurs in the story aren't cloned via mosquitoes in amber, because obviously that's been done. I've looked at the real world, and they've found soft tissue in iron preserves of some fossils. And so in this story, yeah, they clone the dinosaurs via finding remnants of soft tissue with preserved DNA fragments that they can work off of in them. Because I didn't want to step on Jurassic Park's toes and just be like, yeah, they were cloned via amber. It's been done, you know. And I wanted to like look at a way of how they've done it. Well, not how they've actually cloned dinosaurs, but like how they've what they've discovered in real world fossils. So. Okay, so this rough picture. I mean, it actually looks rougher on the line, but yeah, once it's done, it's done. Dratini Dragon Emperor 2005 Marlon Cunningham. That is a long name. Says, when does it take place? It takes place in a sort of nowish, I guess, but the technology in this show is just sort of, you've got big thick monitors, you've got thin screens. There's just going to be a mixture of technology, and I'm not really going to mention sort of any date or anything properly. There's a hint to a date, but that, like, by the technology that you see in this, you know it's definitely not that date. You know, it says it says 88 on the end of a date at one point. It's like, you know, this is definitely not set in 1988. So it could be 2088. It could be any time. But I figured that focusing on the when in this story and the where are actually detrimental. I think it's more important just to tell the story than focus on exactly when it takes place and stuff. It's like, I think it will add to the sort of the fantasy feeling I'm trying to get across with this. If you don't know where it's taking place, you know it's in a jungle, but you don't know where exactly on Earth. And they do speak about other parts of Earth, so you know it's on this planet, obviously. But like also the date doesn't really matter. It's like in the original Alien. I mean, I know there's like supplementary material that's come out since that sort of tells you when that film's set. The original Alien I'm talking about, like when that first came out. But when I was a kid, there was no date on Alien. So like whenever anyone like laughed at the sort of big thick monitors and the old school looking computers, I used to defend the movie when I was a kid, saying like, because they don't mention a date, that really helps with like the idea of it doesn't matter the technology they have, because it like adds to the fantasy of it all. It's all fantasy in the end, so like it just didn't matter to me. So with this, I'm sort of doing a similar thing. There's sort of a nod to a date, but it's a date that you definitely know isn't the date that you assume it is, if that makes any sense. So I hope that answers your question. Oh, thanks, JC. Big Shark, the Master of Brick, says, but do they fill the gaps in? Yes. Of course they do. But I don't really mention that at all, because there's no point. Like, well, I mean, I think, well, I do mention it in some capacity, but the dinosaurs in this story aren't, they're definitely not meant to be looked at as scientifically accurate. there's other fish to fry, as it were, when it comes to the story of this and the dinosaurs and how the humans relate to him. British Tyrannosaur says he's been watching but not messaging. Why not, man? Why the silence? Why the silence, man? What are you doing? What are you doing to me, man? Do you guys want to see a little tease to something Jurassic related that I bought when I was in Japan? Do you want a spoiler for a future Pterodome episode? Yes, says Jurassic Collectibles. Okay. So I went to Universal Japan and I managed to pick up this. Yeah! Even though it's not got any sunroof and it's kind of inaccurate. I thought that was pretty neat. Officially licensed by Ford. But yeah, so, and let me get this out. I know I probably should have waited till the episode, but I'm too excited. Look at this. It says Universal Studios Japan. Number 3. So it's like they've just retrofitted a Ford Explorer, like a 4x4, sorry, car. It's even got like suspension. And yeah, so that looks pretty neat in my books. And I think that'll go nicely alongside this. Yeah. So I've got this little DeLorean. Even says, I don't know if you can see that, but it does say out of time. Let me see if I can do this. I don't know if you can see that, but it does say out of time on the number plate. Oh, wrong way. Yeah, so I've got my little 2 vehicles. The DeLorean and I believe it's Matchbox. Let me have a look. It's Hot Wheels. And you can see the Hot Wheels logo is there. The Hot Wheels DeLorean. Yeah, I just figured that they'd look nice against each other. So, but anyway, enough spoilers for today. Yeah, so that's coming in a future Pterodome episode. And I love they just call it Jurassic Park car. I'll probably mention that in the video. Yeah, I have got some other Jurassic related stuff, but I won't be showing that until the episode. And I've got next to me here the little King Ghidorah keyring that I picked up that featured in the latest Pterodome episode. So that's going on my keys. I actually got my little nephew Godzilla in this form, but I just thought King Ghidorah just looked really cute with his like his wings. And you can actually take this off. You can take off the keyring and just have it. I mean, if you wanted to, I guess you could take that out, but yeah. Anyway, why don't you make like a tree and get out of here, says British Transfer. It's leave, you moron. Make like a tree and leave. Big Shark the Master Brick says, do you think Mattel will make a young Rex? Didn't they already make one? They already made a baby T-Rex. Or do you mean like a juvenile, like like a junior T-Rex, like what Ken did? Jurassic Collectibles says, my Tomica has the bubble, so theirs is based on the theme park car, which is cool. They had some other stuff at the Universal Park, which I didn't pick up. They had this like Jurassic Park gate, which you could make out of like Lego type stuff, which I've seen around. But I didn't pick that up because I was like, yeah, I'm not too fussed by that, if I'm honest. But what surprised me, and I'll mention this in the video when I come to make it, but the Universal Studios Japan had absolutely zero Mattel stuff, like none. And all the dinosaur action figures and stuff that they had there were just like box standard, non-licensed like non-licensed dinosaurs, like rubber, really outdated looking dinosaurs. Which surprised me actually, considering, you know, Mattel and how well they're doing. Big Shark says, yeah, the Junior T-Rex, do you think Mattel will make one? Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I'd be surprised if they did. If I'm honest. I'm just using the different greens right now just to sort of get a semblance of lighting. I'm going to let the Operation Genesis soundtrack play one more time, like through what it's doing right now, and then I might change to the classic. I might go to Overwatch. I need to also be conscious of my brush. I might need a smaller one actually. Oh wait, what's saying? British Tyrannosaur says, "Where's my accurate Lost World book adaptation with accurate, inaccurate dinosaurs? Make sure to include racist Professor Challenger." Yeah. Good old racist Professor Challenger. God, yeah, that is one of the things, like, when you read that book, you're like, that is outdated. That is... But, what can you do? Yeah, the Parasaurolophus is definitely going to get a repaint a few times, Big Shark. When I say definitely, it's not like I have inside knowledge, but I'm with you. You can just tell because, like, you know, they're bringing out the Lost World paint variant, and you know that they're going to do like a couple more. They have to. It'd be a missed opportunity. I'd love them to do the green and red variant of that Parasaur. You know, the one from, if I can just show you quickly. And there's the Pterodome! This one. So if they did that version of the Parasaur there. Hey, and how about a Corymphosaurus? Why don't we get that one on the go? Whoa! Right, now I'm going to get a little bit of brown. Mix it in with the green. British Translator says the upcoming Plesiosaur looks great. Reminds me of the Arctic Carno Rex. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm happy that they've added like the Ramphorhynchus. So I think that's like kind of a left field creature to add in. And that was actually one that I was considering to put in Dino-Defenders, was the Ramphorhynchus. Before I realised actually story-wise it'll be easier for me not to have any flying reptiles. In other news, by the way, my dad. I just thought I'd tell you guys this story because I think JC, if you're still there, you'll like to hear this. My dad hadn't watched Fallen Kingdom when it came out of cinemas. He kept missing it. Because he's a full-time musician, so he was gigging a lot and stuff like that when that was out. So he didn't manage to catch Fallen Kingdom at the cinemas. So I was like telling him, wait till I'm back from Japan, and then we'll go see it. We'll watch it together on Blu-ray when it's out. And then, of course, my wife says, don't buy the Blu-ray because Santa has got it on his list. So I was like, okay. I was like, that's a good hint right there. So I was like, okay, so I am personally still waiting to own Fallen Kingdom on DVD. So I let Dad know this, or Blu-ray, sorry. So I let my dad know this, and he's like, right, well, he's like, I can't wait anymore, I've got to watch it. So he ended up watching it, and then I got this message off him saying, he was like, he preferred Fallen Kingdom to Jurassic World. Now he liked Jurassic World, but he said that this one had like more of the stuff that he liked in it. So when I next go see him, I'm gonna get his full thoughts on it. But yeah, he thought Fallen Kingdom was better than Jurassic World. My dad and I, we have this, we love old Twilight and all that sort of stuff. Twilight Zone, not Twilight the vampire film, but like Twilight Zone and old Doug McClure movies and all that sort of stuff. So I think he really liked Fallen Kingdom because of the whole like volcano aspect and the sort of more, I'd say, like adventurous feel of it, and the sort of Lost World feel of that movie. You know how you have like this island that has like all this broken stuff on it. I think that's what he really attached to. But obviously I'm speculating here based on what I know of my father. My father. British Translator says, I'm waiting till Christmas for Fallen Kingdom and Evolution. That must be a painful wait. Must be a painful wait. Speaking of Evolution, actually, I need to get on that and play that more. See, this is the problem when you've got all these ideas to do stuff and then you get 2 new jobs outside of work on Jurassic and YouTube and whatnot. My time has just been like sort of cut severely over, and so it's like I want to get more time to work on this sort of stuff, but alas, the mortgage must be paid. Alright. Big Shark says, oh yeah, just seeing the Ramphorhynchus getting a toy makes me think that while we see a lot of dinosaurs, that we're seeing a lot of dinosaurs we haven't seen in the films. Yeah, it's just a nice mix-up to see, like, more dinosaurs in the toy line. It's just, that's the thing, like, the more dinosaurs, the new dinosaurs are fantastic in the toy lines, but in my opinion, the toy lines need to focus on the human figures. If they really want to make these toy lines really memorable for kids, they've got to get on the human figures. And it is like wishful thinking as a sort of older fan that I hope they bring to life a John Hammond figure and a Lex figure. Or Dr. Wu, sorry. Henry Wu needs a figure. I'd say actually Henry Wu and John Hammond are like the... You know, they should be figures for real. But like even so, like with the new Jurassic World films, you know, you've got Mills, you've got Lockwood. I know they're bringing out a Franklin, and Zia's already got a figure. But like you've got all these different characters. Be nice to actually see, you know, more human figures. British Tyrannosaur says, "Where's the action figure for the Curious Man from the Lost World?" You're him, right? The scientist, the guy. I saw you on TV. I believed you. Oh. Do you know, I kind of appreciate that in the Lost World they didn't show like the Curious Man during the San Diego incident, like drop like on his cell phone or something in a car, being really cocky, and then the T-Rex walked out in front of his car and like his cigarette dropped out of his mouth. I'm glad they didn't do that because I think it's kind of more realistic to sort of not show that reaction. Because it'd be like too perfect for him to just be out on the town when the T-Rex attacks. Matt Scarlett says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Ewens." Good afternoon. Tyrannosaur says, "Hoskins I've been waiting for." Yeah, like where's a Hoskins figure? Let me see if I got a thinner brush because I think it's that time. Don't think I do. Did where doth be? Nope. Oh, where did that go? Maybe I dropped it. Oh, well. Oh no, here it is. I've got it. It's inside this packet. My thinner brush. There we go. Matt Scott says, I love the video yesterday, dude. Yes, thank you. Sorry I had to like take it down for a brief second. I realised that it was someone pointed out to me that there was a wrong poster I used for Son of Godzilla. I accidentally used All Monsters Attack. So because the video had just gone live, I figured, you know, I had time to sort of rectify the problem before I get like a million comments about how I used the wrong poster. Jurassic Collectible says, I really appreciated Owen's paralysation on rewatch. I know some folk hate that, but I crack up every time. I love that scene. That's one of those moments where I'm like, I don't know why people find that scene so irritating. It's good because in like, joking aside, I think why the scene plays sort of as funny. Well, not joking aside, I'm focusing on that, but like, I think why the scene is funny is more so the situation that Owen has found himself in. And I don't actually think that Chris Pratt plays it for laughs as much as people sort of seem to think. He's trying to get out of the way. It's a very Indiana Jones type moment, and I think the whole scenario that he's in is what makes the scene funny, because you're like, my god, like, how did he get into this situation? And yeah, I really like it, and I also really like it because the Jurassic films, especially the first two, they have moments where the characters are in danger of something that's not a dinosaur. So in the first film, Tim and Grant get chased down the tree by the car, and obviously the electric fence poses a sort of threat to them when Ellie's turning the power back on. And there's two moments of like suspension with like, you know, oh god, this is like the island is a threat itself. In the Lost World, it was the glass breaking as a result of the T-Rex attack. And I think there's another one in the Lost World. I'm just trying to think, but I think there's another one in there, but someone will have to point that out to me. But in Fallen Kingdom, there's two as well. There's the lava sequence, which is very brief, but that's kind of a threat that isn't a dinosaur. And also the gyrosphere underwater. And I just really appreciate that they did that twice. And so, I don't know, I find the lava bit, I think it's great. Jurassic Collectibles says, it's so in-your-face, unfortunate funny, it felt natural. Yeah, and also I think personally, obviously, whenever I speak about these movies, I'm going to sound more biased because obviously I work on them. But like, as being a Jurassic fan, I do get to see these films through that lens, and I really, really, really liked the fact that, like, I didn't expect it. That was a scene that I didn't know was coming. Like, there was a lot of stuff from the movie that I didn't know was going to be in it, because obviously movies evolve as over time. And so when it came to that scene, I was laughing my head off, but in the kind of like, this is great sort of adventure movie filmmaking right here, because it sort of came out of left field. I knew they were going to do something with lava, because when you're dealing with a volcano in a story, you kind of have to involve lava somewhere. But yeah, I figured that was a really smart way of doing it, and they only did it briefly. Like, you can't overdo the lava. I mean, they did it in the bunker when the baryonyx is coming in, but then again, it was like flipped. The lava in that scenario was actually sort of saving them, because it was preventing the baryonyx from getting to Claire and Franklin. Jurassic Collectible says it's in the editing too. When you watch it, Jack, notice how the lava is suddenly on him between cuts. Yeah, it's like a passage of time. It goes really quick. Matt Scarlett thought it was funny that you bashed Son of Godzilla but used a poster for Godzilla's Revenge. But Revenge is by far the worst of the two. Yeah, well, I didn't even know. I just didn't even clock. Because I was trying to be truthful. I actually don't own Son of Godzilla. Because I've seen it and I don't know. I'm not going to be watching it anytime soon. I'm not desperate for it. It's not like a monumental masterpiece that I have to, or a very crucial movie to anyone's collection, in my opinion. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is more important, I think, if you're collecting Godzilla films, because it's one of the classics and is widely considered to be one of the best of the Showa era Godzilla films. And the fact that I'd never seen it and I didn't own it was plaguing me. So everything I say in that intro is pretty much truthful. Like, I am, I was annoyed that I could never see it, and whenever I looked online it was ridiculously priced. I believe it's gone down in price on some sites now, but I wanted to get it legit from Japan. British Tyrannosaurus says finding Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla in Japan must have been stressful. It was kind of fun. I wouldn't say it was stressful. In reality, I found the version I bought. I found that version of the film very early on in the trip, but I didn't buy it then. I bought it towards the end because I was holding out and trying to find a dubbed or subtitled version, and apparently they actually don't exist in Japan. Not anymore. They've purged. And I think all the DVDs from my research, all the DVDs of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla that are out there are bootlegged versions where someone has added the subtitles on. So actually finding a real Toho released version of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is either super rare or it doesn't exist. They're my two conclusions. So I bought it on DVD just so I've got it in my collection regardless. And then if they do release a version with subtitles or whatnot, then I'll get that. Matt Scarlett says, I was one of the lucky few that saw Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla on a late night Channel 4 when I was 10. Nice. Actually, the first time I got to use a time recorder on crappy VHS and it didn't record the sound. Watched it anyway and didn't see it with the sound until about 15 years later. British Tyrannosaurus says, my big search quest is for Westworld's novel and Dragon's Teeth. Nice. Dratini says, are the dinosaurs in your series the same as in Jurassic Park? No, they're different. Very different. So you see this. Oh, nope! Nearly dropped all my paints. So you see this shot here. Let me just grab this brush. I might have to make a new tea in a second. Because I believe this one has gone cold. This shot here, the equivalent of this shot in story or cinematic storytelling is what's a good way of putting it? Is the equivalent of, in Jurassic Park when the jeeps just come over the hill and they're turning before they stop and we see the Brachiosaurus. There's wide shot of the jeeps coming around the corner. Well, this is the equivalent of that shot, but the characters are going to be walking across this platform, and these are two paddocks. So there's going to be a fence along here and a fence along here separating them. So the walkway is actually not actually in the paddocks, but they're overlooking. However, in this paddock is going to be a walkway from here to somewhere in the middle where you can see like an observation tower. So that's essentially what this shot is doing in terms of its storytelling. So these are 2 dinosaur paddocks, and this is during the sequence where the characters are first introduced to seeing the dinosaurs, or some of the dinosaurs, should I say? And and so like I don't know if you're going to see them in this shot though, because I think it's going to be adding mystery if you don't. But I won't keep talking. I'll end up spoiling stuff. So. If I do that, you guys can see sort of what I'm doing with the paints. I'm going to change the music quickly. Oh my word. Quickly. Come on. Change the music. I want this. This is like Bob Ross but with dinosaurs. Yeah. And now we get a little bit of titanium white. Big Shark says, do you think we should have a character opposite of Owen Grady? I would argue that we already kind of had that with Hoskins. Hoskins was like the opposite of Owen. You know, he goes in guns blazing without thinking about any of like the ramifications of what he's doing. And he sees like Owen, Owen does the clicky thing with the raptors, feeds them some rats, and then gives them the command that, you know, it's not feeding time anymore, you're okay to go or whatever. And they just sort of run off after he says, and go, like that. And then Hoskins sees that as like, right, we should take it into the field and take it to the next step. And it's like, well, that's not exactly how it works. It's one thing to just feed them something that they like. It's another entirely to like try and take them out and get them to hunt something. So yeah, I'd probably say British Tyrannosaur agrees. I'd say, yeah, Hoskins is pretty much Owen's opposite. Big Shug says, yeah, but he doesn't have a bond with the raptors. So what you're saying is that someone who has a kind of bond with a raptor or raptors, a raptor pack, who then uses them for malicious reasons? Or like... I don't know. I guess like every idea that like every idea that hasn't been put into a Jurassic film yet, I'd say context is key. Like, I've always said, like, there's no bad idea, it's just how it's executed. And so, like, the idea of someone having a pack of raptors and using them in a sort of opposite way to how Owen does, I think could work. It just depends on how it's done. How it's implemented. Big Shark says, I was thinking more like a Dilophosaurus. No, because I don't think Dilophosauruses were as intelligent as Velociraptors. I think a Dilophosaurus is more, especially the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus, is probably more defensive, hence the frill and the spitting. Well, spitting is for attack, but I guess it's also for defense. I see like the sort of mindset of a Dilophosaurus, judging by what we see in the film and knowing things from the animal kingdom. The sort of temperament of a Dilophosaurus, I would say, is kind of akin to a skunk. You know, you scare a skunk, it's going to spray you. Let's say if you mix the personality, or like the animalistic personality of a skunk with I don't know, what, an ostrich or something, you get like a Dilophosaurus. There you go, there's my layman's. A spitting cobra, yeah, Jurassic Collectibles. Simple animal, but defensive and very dangerous. I'd say a spitting cobra is probably a little bit more jumpy than the Dilophosaurus. The Dilophosaurus did seem kind of curious about Nedry, but like they're not like pack animals, so I don't see someone bonding with a Dilophosaurus, you know, all that easily. Just imagine in the next one, says Matt Scully, if Doctor Wu is finally the main villain and the last battle is him against everyone riding a Giganotosaurus or something. I will say this now. That won't happen. I feel like that, like, anyone who has fears about the Jurassic series becoming Dino Riders or anything, it's like how are those fears justified? We've had 2 films in this new trilogy so far. You know, if you don't like the films as they stand, fair enough. You know? But anyone who has fears about it, like, going to space or anything like that, it's like, they're not doing that. Those people spouted the same fears before before Jurassic World came out, and then that didn't happen. And then they spouted those things when Fallen Kingdom was coming out, and again, didn't happen. It's like, how many times do you need to be told that these films they don't really break any from the established world building that Jurassic, The Lost World, and JP3 put in place? And you know, I'm not saying anyone in the chat has said this like today, but like it's just got me thinking about like the fears and stuff I read that people have for where the series is going. It's like you see so many news articles where they're like, oh, they're going. It's like Dino Riders. It's like, yeah. Right, now I'm going to just do the tree branches here. Jurassic Collectible says, I think post Fallen Kingdom my fears were lessened. Yeah, and I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I understand where you're coming from when you say, like, we jump from, if you're watching it in order, you jump from Jurassic Park 3 to Jurassic World, and there is a big shift in, like, what has that world has evolved dramatically since we last saw it, is one way of putting it. So I understand, like, I was more understanding of fears back before Jurassic World came out, or like just after, if like people didn't like that movie. But now with Fallen Kingdom out, it's like I don't think it's more difficult to sort of hold a candle to those fears. I think anyway. That's just my opinion on the matter. People are chatting about Doctor Wu's future. Obviously, I can't talk about that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish I could join, but I can't. Alright, getting the trees. British Transfer says, I did like that Wu recognised the Indoraptor shouldn't be sold off. Yeah. He doesn't want to get it. He doesn't want his artwork to be, as he calls it, art, to be exploited. And Jurassic Collectibles says, I still hold on to the weaponized, but it still does hold on to the weaponized dinos, which is a weak idea, and I'm glad it's played down. Yeah, I mean, it's by its very nature, it's a weak idea, but I think that's the entire point of why they're tackling that subject, because although like using dinosaurs as weapons is a stupid idea and wouldn't work, that's in a world where the dinosaurs are real, people would be trying that method. There's no doubt about it. So, like, I think it's justified in its silliness by the real world. It's like, I have no doubt in my mind if dinosaurs were brought back to life that people would be trying to at least see how they can use them in the military. But obviously the Jurassic films talk about how that idea is stupid and it never works. And I think they downplayed it enough, because when I'll admit, when I was reading the script for Jurassic World back in 2014, you know, I got to the bit right at the beginning of the script where Owen is training the raptors, and I was like, oh my word, this is going to go down exactly as people have feared. That's what I was thinking. But then by the end of the script, I was like, actually, they didn't do anything like as crazily over top as a lot of people fear it might. Like, they never did the whole smashing down no, like raptors with guns breaking into, or guns attached to them, should I say, breaking into a drug lord's den and then, shooting up the place. They never did anything like that. So I was like, okay, so it's kind of like Jurassic Park level of plausibility and how far they take it. And the dinosaurs basically kill the people with that idea before that idea ever really gets off the ground, which is the whole point, is it won't work. But that's the way I see it. Jurassic Collectible says, I can see where it stopped where it has. Yeah, I mean, it felt natural the way they did it in my opinion. The way they showed where it was coming from in Jurassic World to where it ended in Fallen Kingdom. I think that's enough focus on that. On that side of things. I mean, what else is there to say? Okay, let's get some more bushes. Actually, I'm just going to use a bit of like this sort of yellow bit here. You guys want to see something else Jurassic related that's really cool? I just had a look over to my left and I just saw it and I thought, oh yeah, I'd love to show you guys that. I think I put it on one stream, but I can't remember if the guys who are watching now, you guys have seen it. But let me know if you want me to show you something Jurassic related that's really cool that I got given. Sure, says Big Shark. Alright, I'm just going to let the paint dry. It's looking alright so far. So as a thanks for bringing him on as part of the team, Yaroslav Kosmina sent me this. Is Lost World mural, which he did. I think looks insanely good. You got Roland up there, you've got the buck T-Rex and the female, you got the trailers, the Mercedes, the Stegosaurs, Kelly, Ian, Sarah and Nick, the baby T-Rex, some compies right down the bottom here. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 5 compies there. You got the Jeep with Ludlow in the back. He's just behind the tree there. You got the choppers bringing in the gear. You've got the roundup sequence. You've got another compy, another two compies there. The Pachycephalosaurus, the leg of what I'm guessing is a Mamenchiasaurus. The bottom of the high hide is peeking there, and you've got the raptors in the long grass. The worker village with the raptors on the roof, and then San Diego with the helicopter coming over. And that's pretty much, obviously there's loads of characters missing, but it's pretty much the entire movie of The Lost World in one image. And I think he did a amazing job with that. And I think it's really funny that he added this like red T-Rex foot in the background, but I don't know, I just think that really adds to the image colour-wise. But yeah, I have that hanging up on the wall next to where I work because it's really inspiring. I think he did a bloody good job on that. Yo Connor Pool. Big Shark Master Brick says, "Where's Dieter on that picture?" I guess he just didn't paint him. I think Carter's there on in one of the Jeeps. Oh, he's on the bike. Yeah, I don't know, because they released Carter in the toy line, didn't they, as the character who was on the bike. But in the movie, I don't think they ever show who was actually riding that bike. Because Dieter and Carter were both in that Jeep, weren't they? So it was just a box standard henchman riding through the legs of the Mamenchiasaurus. What's the time? Okay. I'll probably stream for about another hour. I'm going to be doing it now. 2 hours. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I'll be streaming for another hour and then I'll have to head. But remember guys, tomorrow, probably around the same time I started this stream, I'll be streaming myself playing through Jurassic Explorer, the fan-made game. And so be on the lookout for that, 'cause that's going to be fun. And we'll see what the fans who made that game, what they've created, and yeah, and hopefully have some fun with that. Okay. We get a really light green now. British Tyrannosaur, but yeah, to continue what I mentioned earlier, in Jurassic Park, mankind can only do crazy ideas. It comes up with like dinosaur theme parks and dinosaur weapons, but it's its own ambition and greed that destroys that. Exactly. That's the point, isn't it? Man's hubris. Big Chuck says, do you think Dr. Wu is hiding on one of the 4 islands? Again, I can't talk about Dr. Wu or the future, unfortunately, because it pains me. But, yeah. JC Jurassic Collectible says, I think Jurassic Park is plausible though. The science revealed, the mosquito and the amber is the key here. Without that, it falls into standard outrageous sci-fi, which Jurassic World adheres more to. Well, Jurassic World can get away with what it does with, let's say, the raptors being used as sort of military test subjects because of the sort of what's come before with Jurassic Park. Like the key to getting the dinosaurs was mosquitoes and amber, and so once you have the dinosaurs, then it's like, what do you do with them? And I guess they thought with Jurassic World that, you know, the dinosaurs being used as weapons was an interesting enough story thread to go down. But like without Jurassic Park and it revealing how the dinosaurs came about, yeah, you wouldn't have what happens in Jurassic World. But if you were to watch Jurassic World without prior knowledge to Jurassic Park, which you're gonna have to be a special kind of hermit to to be that person, then you might be like, well, you know, how did they get the dinosaurs to begin with? Jurassic Collectible says it doesn't go into the why or the how of hybridization, which I think would help. Well, I agree to a certain extent there. Like, yeah, obviously they could have gone into the how and why of the hybridization, but I guess it's like the same process that they use to add frog DNA, which again is crucial to why you need to watch Jurassic Park really before watching Jurassic World. It's like they'd basically be repeating information. That's the way I see it. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Jurassic Collectible says, and I prefer the idea of the I-Rex being like an undiscovered dinosaur, one far worse than we realised, and we cloned it anyway. Well, that's I mean, I'm with Colin on this one. I think the idea of a dinosaur that we clone from the past, that's like one we didn't know about, and you know it creates a whole heap of problems for us, is, you know, at first it's a neat idea in terms of, you know, the idea of like the undiscoverable thing from the past, but at the same time you don't want to like teach kids, you like, dinosaurs have always been animals, and so to say that in the world of Jurassic that there's one that they clone that's like basically a monster would be kind of detrimental to the message of Jurassic to some extent. I mean, I would like to see it. I'm not like too fussed. It's all fiction to me. It's all fantasy. But I kind of get why they didn't go that route. And the idea of man creating his own monster and exploiting that animal, as Mills says, is far more in line, in my opinion, with what Jurassic does. But like, don't get me wrong, the idea of like finding something from the past that is out of our control and it's like something we didn't even know existed would be pretty cool to see. I think it would work better for something little, like not like a giant monster, but like maybe something small. I mean, it's kind of like what they do with the Dilophosaurus, where they're like, we now know that it spits venom at its prey and all that. Which is what you've just said in the chat. But the thing is, in order to clone... it's like, how do they know what dinosaur it is until they clone it? Basically, that's what the question comes down to. So, like, they might clone that monstrous dinosaur that they've discovered from the past, but did they know what it was before they cloned it? And that's where, like, you know, it would have to be looked at in a sort of a light regarding that, if that makes any sense. Because if they knew what it was before they cloned it, and then they cloned it again, then sure, yeah, that's them making a mistake. But if they just cloned it to find out what it was, and then it started killing people and stuff, it's like, well, that's a horrible accident. Whereas like John Hammond and InGen, they knew they were cloning dinosaurs. And they probably didn't know what the species were until they extracted the DNA and had a look at it. British Tyrannosaur known, yes, but the Spinosaurus, its feet were purely guesses and monster move. Feet smashed into a move. I don't know what you just said there, man. Jurassic Collectible says, it's man's folly. Yeah. It's like maybe they go, we know it's prehistoric, but we have no idea exactly what it is. and then they clone it. But I don't know. I just think like the idea of like a monster dinosaur. It's like there's that movie, that dragon movie called Reign of Fire, and they mention that the dragons caused the extinction of the dinosaurs or something. And it's like, oh well, no, sorry, not what am I talking about? The original script for Jurassic Park 4, the Malisaurus, they were going to mention that. It was like mentioned that the dinosaur that they were going to clone, which eventually became the Indominus Rex, was like they were going to hint that that was the thing that caused the extinction. I'm sure that's what was said. And it's like at that point, it's like, well, that's kind of a bit strange. Like one species caused the entire extinction. Connor Poole says, this is completely off topic, but does anyone feel like the CG is better in Jurassic Park than Jurassic World or Fallen Kingdom? In my opinion, no. I think the CGI in Jurassic Park is amazing. And the newer films don't hold a candle to the impact that they had, that the original film had on cinema. All round, but I think the CGI in the newer films is technically way better, and it's. I think the originals seem like the CGI in the originals has that feeling of believability that the new ones don't. Mainly because we live in a world where special effects are everywhere, and you know they use it for everything. So the whole nature of the way films are made is different to how Jurassic Park was made back in the day. And if you don't like that, then I guess you have to blame Jurassic Park, because that was the thing that changed the very field of special effects. It's like it's a double-edged. It's a kind of not a double-edged sword. It's like a Jurassic Park's kind of its own worst enemy. And I think the CGI in the original film does hold up, but a lot of it is hidden. Like if you were to put the CGI assets from Jurassic Park in the same situations that you see in Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom, you wouldn't be as impressed. Hardcore Jed, thank you very much for the donation. Says, what up, yo dude? Thank you so much, that is most kind. Jurassic Collectibles says, you could have a story thread where they find the cryocan and one has a code but no species. That's the Malisaurus. It's got roots in Jurassic Park. Now you're talking. See, that sort of makes more sense, because it's like the hubris of man is already there with Jurassic Park. And then they clone it, and then they're like, wait, they were going to clone one of these? What the hell are they thinking? And it's like, well, did they know what it was? So I'm more on board with the killer dinosaur idea with that idea than I am than them digging up the fossil of it and then going, let's clone it, and then, oh no, this thing's like a monster, for lack of a better term. British Tyrannosaur says, the Spinosaurus was a marketing tool. It might have been real, but it's exactly the same as making up a new one. I will say this, it was a marketing tool, and I think that the Wu's line of dialogue, I think Jurassic World rectified it, because the Indominus Rex is essentially a metaphorical retelling of the Spinosaurus, in a sense. The Indominus Rex represents how the studios were thinking about the characters, like when they're talking about the Indominus Rex, like when Wu's like, it's bigger than a T-Rex. It's like, it's exactly what they were saying about the Spinosaurus. And so like, why the Spinosaurus fails for some people is because it acts like a monster
when it's meant to be a real dinosaur, and they don't really explain why it is the way it is in the film. There's clues now, thanks to what they're doing with the new films, and not to blow my own trumpet, but what we've written on the sites, we've added clues as to why the Spinosaurus is the way it is, and we're kind of looking to sort of undo some of the mistakes made with that particular creature. But then, it wouldn't change the film. It's just mistakes, as in giving it an origin story that makes it seem more plausible. But I do like the sort of unanswered reasons as to why the Spinosaurus is the way it is, to a certain extent. Some people believe that the Spinosaurus goes after the humans like it does purely because they hit the Spinosaurus with the plane. And then it went and found the plane and found the humans, and it was just angry. It was like a wasp's nest that had been destroyed, and it was chasing the humans across the island like a hive of wasps would if you went up and just destroyed its nest, or destroyed their nest. Yeah, the Indominus is basically the Spinosaurus done right, in a sense. It's bigger than the T-Rex, but the film acknowledges that mistake by the characters, making that creature, and their ego gets the better of them. Jurassic Collectible says, I think for the time it was made, Jurassic Park is more ahead of its time. Well, yeah. That's why it turned so many heads. If Weta had handled the dinosaurs, I think we would have some truly outstanding effects. But I think Fallen Kingdom aligns with modern visual effects. Personally, I don't know. Weta recently did Thanos in the Avengers films, and I don't know, if I wasn't blown away by Thanos, he did the job. I was more impressed with the Endoraptor than I was Thanos. But then again, the Endoraptor was a mixture of practical and visual effect and CGI. Weta for me can be quite hit on this. Hardcore Jed says Thanos car. What do you mean, Thanos car? Jurassic Collectibles says, I think Weta has varying budgets like all films, but I think Avatar is one that represents their upper budget. Well, funny enough, Avatar was a collaboration between Weta and ILM. They both worked on that movie. And I think they worked in collaboration with each other. It wasn't one team was doing one scene. I think Weta did all the creatures and the Navi, and ILM did all the environments and the vehicles, I believe. Or maybe ILM did some of the creatures. There was a blend of the two. Yeah, I mean, Avatar is one of those movies that I think a lot of people they've announced all the sequels, and I've seen so many articles of people saying oh, they're making sequels to a film no one remembers, and it's really, you really think that Avatar has no audience? This film was the biggest film of all time. They have a whole theme park based around this movie in Disney. I've seen so many people at like Comic-Con events and stuff dressed up as Na'vi. Like there is a huge, huge fan base for Avatar. And it's just like, just because people didn't like that it had a Pocahontas-esque story, that they, you know, they seem to think that the Avatar films aren't worthy for whatever reason. Framestore did the mech suits for Avatar's Jurassic Collectibles. Oh, cool. But I did not know that. I did not know that. Connor Paul says, it's a meme, the Thanos car. Well, it's a meme, but I don't get it. I don't know. Kids today, hey. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just quickly... actually, I'll use a bigger brush here. Okay, I'm just going to quickly do this side over here, and then... and this is just going to be quick brush strokes. Did Weta do Blade Runner 2049? Because the effects in 2049 I thought were just insanely good, but that was a mixture of miniatures and or bigatures, should I say? CGI. I don't know who did the effects for 2049. I was very, very impressed with that movie, just in general. Felt like a western, like an old school western, like a spaghetti western, but set in the Blade Runner universe. British Transfer says there are 3 cuts of Avatar. Only just rewatched the first one. Yeah, I mean, I always watch the one where it starts off on Earth because I really love the you know, the design of Earth, and I think it's really almost crucial to see how bad Earth is when you watch the movie. And I think Avatar, in terms of stories, in terms of storytelling, like if you were to lay out Avatar, Pocahontas, Dancing with Wolves, Fern Gully on a table and said, which one do you want to watch? I'm picking up Avatar. Okay, so I've got that pretty much there. Jurassic Collectible says, yes, I believe Weta did the bigatures for Blade Runner 2049. But tons of companies work on effects. There was a CGI Rachel that was a different company. Yeah, that CGI Rachel was just mad good. Mad good. There's my English for you right there. It was mad good. Yeah, I do love that movie studios nowadays tend to use like many different effects studios, and there'll be some people out there who will say like, well, you get inconsistency between effects, but in the end, it's like they're all working together. So if someone points out, an effect that doesn't quite work compared to the others, then that means that company might, adjust. They all can learn from each other by looking at each other's plates and get to see the mistakes they make and work better at them. I think it's going to be better overall when effects companies blend rather than compete. Although that said, competition does breed incentive to better oneself. I mean, even going from like Fallen Kingdom to Jurassic World, the jump in effects is amazing. Like, I think Blue in Fallen Kingdom just looks so good, especially when she's like under the canopy and Owen's like reaching out to her. Like, the CGI in that is just so good. It just makes you wonder what 2021 is going to look like. British Tyrannosaur says, if Avatar 2 impresses, I'll eat my words, but I just cannot see what they can do. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'm going off of this is my own. I mean, they could be bad. I'm not ruling that off the table just because I enjoyed the first one. But I'm also looking at Cameron's track record for sequels. He's done 2 sequels, right? Aliens and Terminator 2. And what's interesting about those movies is the first films in those series are very basic movies. Like, the stories aren't that, like, they're paper thin. But the films are so good because of that. And so I think Cameron has a knack for working out how to make a sequel follow in the original's footsteps, but also at the same time make it feel like you're going on a different adventure. And so I feel I have faith, as one way of putting it. I have faith that he will do well with Avatar 2. Okay, so this is coming along pretty well so far. I mean, on camera, on the stream, it looks really blurry and not that good. Like, not that sharp, sorry. So, like, in reality, it's much more sharper than it is on the stream. I'll obviously be taking a picture of it and importing it into my computer shortly. Ooh, that was a big drip of water. Yeah, British Tyrannosaur says, I'm sure he has a vision, but I need to see what it is. Yeah, I think all we have to go off of is it's going to be set in the oceans, right? It's going to be set in the oceans of Pandora. So obviously James Cameron being a big proprietor of deep sea diving and oceanic exploration, I'm sure we're going to see many crazy, wonderful things under the water. I'll admit, I'm a little bit concerned by the number of sequels they've announced. Just because, like, it's like they're banking a lot on announcing all those sequels. I think that, like, you know, I think take one step at a time. But then again, that's the Jurassic fan in me talking, because that's what Jurassic Park does, and Alien, and the Godzilla films. All my favourite franchises, they tend to, you know, they'll announce a sequel if they've already got the success on their plate. And so Jurassic World comes out opening night, it's a huge success. And then soon after they announce, you know, that they're making the next one. The box office pre-sales for Fallen Kingdom means they announce the next one because they know they've got a hit on their hands. Jurassic Collectible says, I'm with you there on the number of sequels. Yeah, I think it's like, since it was like that day Disney announced their lineup of Avengers movies leading up to Infinity War, and everyone went mad for it. And like, I remember seeing I was incredibly ill in bed when that happened, so I was like, I was watching this trailer for Infinity War parts 1 and 2 or whatever they were calling it, in bed feeling really ill. But I remember the internet was exploding with excitement, and justifiably so, because like no one knew it was coming, and they just kept announcing movies. And the media buzz around that moment in sort of marketing history has sort of, I feel like that's tainted somewhat, because Disney have now done it with Star Wars, and they've now done it with, I guess they're producing Avatar. I think Disney are producing Avatar, aren't they? In coordination with James Cameron. But it's like, I feel like you don't need to announce all these like long list of films that may or may not get made. You know, make them one at a time. British Translator says, rewatching Avatar, the Na'vi have a sea tribe, so it has precedence. Yeah, exactly. British Translator says, I think a trilogy announcement is fine, but a bit hopeful. Star Wars has slowed down on that, so they've recognised the concern. Yeah, it's running before you can walk. It's that kind of thing. It's like, that's basically what happened. It's like whenever Colin was talking about Jurassic, he always said, like, we've got a trilogy in mind, but it depends on the success of each of the chapters, whether it will come true. And obviously the end of Jurassic World, had Jurassic World been a failure, you know, then they wouldn't be making Fallen Kingdom. But the ending of Jurassic World has a kind of, it's the same ending as Jurassic Park, essentially. You know, an island full of dinosaurs is out there in the world. there'd be many questions about what the hell is happening next, but but like it wouldn't have been the worst ending to end on, because it would have been just essentially, you know. Well, no, but Fallen Kingdom was more of a success than we anticipated. Yeah, we knew it was obviously going to be a big movie, but it actually blew a lot of people's dunes off, as we say. And so you know, and that was good, because the ending of Fallen Kingdom is sort of an open ending. Big Shark, the Master of Brick, says, "Did you know that Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom toys beat Star Wars toys this year?" Oh yes, yes, I know about that. Yes, Mattel has done wonders for the franchise in terms of you know, revenue. Big Shark says the toys were also nominated for awards. Yes, they were. Which I think they're probably going to win. British Tyrannosaur says, been playing a lot of Alien vs Predator 2010 lately. More people on multiplayer, thankfully. Yeah, I mean, it went on sale on Steam the other night, and I made that video of Ross the other day for the channel, and that was because we bought it and we've been playing it as well. I do want to live stream playing the Alien levels and the Marine levels and the Predator levels over at some point. again, there's so much stuff I want to do. It's just about which one is the priority. And Dino-Defenders kind of takes the biscuit. I do have a new Skull Island Files video coming out on Friday. And tomorrow's live stream of Jurassic Explorer, obviously. There are a couple of videos that are coming up. Tomorrow's live stream of Jurassic Explorer will be followed by another live paint stream. But again, it depends on how long that goes on for. Yeah, I should be able to get another paint stream in. Jurassic Godzilla fan 2004 says, Jack, how are you doing today? Very good. Very good. Just doing a bit of actual painting. Oh, that's I see the camera kind of focuses just on this. Let's just try and focus it a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Michael Tharn says, afternoon folks, on here for a short while, taking a break from working on my wildlife on Mars animatic. Pterodon 3000, check out Effects magazines if you can get one. It has a thing you'll love. Something to do with the thing, mind you. I haven't bought a magazine in so long. Actually, a modern magazine, should I rephrase that? Because I bought, like, Jurassic... old Jurassic magazines. Speaking of which, actually, another video that I will be releasing actually within the coming weeks towards Christmas is I'm thinking of doing a giveaway, and I'm thinking of doing it as a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So like my channel is maybe I'll do it on like Patreon. But essentially, I've got a bag of Jurassic Park goodies, including a boxed action figure and old Jurassic magazines and stuff that I'm looking to give away as part of a competition. And I think once my... I think that'll probably come out once I've done... the next Pterodome episode, which is about the Jurassic stuff in Japan. So be on the lookout for that, because you'll be able to get your hands on some Jurassic goodies. So getting closer to basically finishing this watercolour section, and then I will quickly transfer over to the Photoshop version and just to get it all lined up and just neaten it up, ready for finishing the detail on it. Michael Thumb says, not quite the thing, but it still falls under that Master of Effects category. Ah, you talking about Mr. Ray Harryhausen? Are you talking about Mr. Harryhausen? Is that who you're talking about? Spill it, Michael. Is that who you're talking about? Rob Botten says Jurassic Collectibles. I'm going to use the big brush now again to just get it out of the case. See you later, Big Shark. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. I'll catch you tomorrow if you're around. And thank you so much for joining us today. Okay, right. Now what I'm going to do is just put the paints away. Get a Right. Jurassic Godzilla fan 2000 sources. Jack, how was Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla? Was it good or bad? I will be brutally honest, I have not watched it yet. I said I was going to watch it in the video, and then I got editing the video. I will be watching that over breakfast tomorrow. Before tomorrow's live stream, I will make sure to watch Mechagodzilla. I knew someone would ask me that. Michael Tharn says, also close Jurassic Collectibles. I've sent you and Terradome a link in a Twitter DM. Ah, cool. I will be checking that once I've got the stream finished. Using some of these like fine detail pens to add a little bit more detail to this. using this like tiny little thin green to add some of the details. Obviously, as I mentioned, this will get edited when it gets into the computer to add even more detail. Make it, get it to look really good. Jurassic Godzilla fan says, Jack, what is your favourite Godzilla film from the Millennium series? Potentially Godzilla versus Megaguirus or Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. So I like the switch of the roles of all the kaiju in that one. And obviously Godzilla's design in that film is pretty good. I actually, if I'm honest, I actually don't rate Final Wars that highly. I think Final Wars could have been, I guess, a little bit better had it had more Godzilla in it. But like, yeah, most of the film you don't really see Godzilla. It's about the other monsters, which is fair enough. But for a film about Godzilla's final, like when it came out, like the final battle of Godzilla or whatever, I felt like they could have done it a little bit better. Michael Thumb says, All Out Attack is awesome, Final Wars was a letdown for me. But Megaguirus, I do love Godzilla versus Megaguirus. I think it's an underrated Godzilla film. It's not like the greatest film ever, but it's definitely one I don't hear too many people praise. I guess that might be because it's like very, standard Godzilla film. It feels almost like it could be a film from the Heisei era, I guess. Oh god, I've gone over my time. Yo Tim, how are we doing? What about Godzilla 2000, says Jurassic Godzilla fan. Yeah, I do like Godzilla 2000. I think some of the effects in that movie are laughably bad. But at the same time, I don't know, it has a charm to it, like, that I really like. And I think the villain is very interesting. And I do like the others. I do like Tokyo SOS. And, you know, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. Well, I'm going to be finishing the stream very, very soon. Seems like most of the stream has actually been designing this, you know, to be in place of this. I don't know if I can organise it so it goes in the right place. Let's have a look. So it'll be like, yeah, there you go. You can kind of see it if I flick it on and off. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna see about maybe making some extra little changes here and there. To this, and then I think I'll probably be ending the stream because I've got some stuff to do. People to see. Yeah, this is a slight... It's going to look slightly different when I get it into the computer, obviously, as I mentioned. I wonder what I can do with this quickly. What is this screen? Oh, I can add... This screen's good for like vines in the background. Thanks, JC. A Jurassic Godzilla fan says, I thought Auger and Godzilla's new design was badass, and even as a kid I loved the whole film. Yeah, I do really like Godzilla's design in Godzilla 2000. Yeah, maybe I think it's time to take this into the computer to finish editing. Obviously, I'll be doing that at a later date. But let's just add these bits here. Oh, I think this bit needs to get a bit darker. It's good as well because the pen dries slightly lighter than what I'm applying it, so I can kind of just add it on. Okay, alright, for now that's what I'm going to do. Toast King says, hey, look who's back. Well, I'm about to go, I'm afraid. But I will be live streaming more in tomorrow. Let's just see about that, getting that all lined up. There you go. So you can kind of see where this is going. Do you know what? I might actually do it quickly, just send it to myself, because I can do this quite quickly actually. Let me just see about this. Two seconds, folks. Okay. So I've taken a picture. And now let me just sort the camera out. Add me back down here. Add the filter back on, but blam, and then turn me around. Okay, it might be green screen might be a bit messed up because that's there. There we go. So, picture, which you can't see anymore because of the green screen. I will just send it to myself. Okay. Michael Thom says, looking great, mate. Now look forward to seeing the computer upgrades you make to it. Yes, I'll be doing those probably in my spare time, unless I do it tomorrow. Let me just see. Should be... There it is. Download. Okay, so here we go. This is what I've just painted. Let me flip it round. There we go. And if I just grab copy, move that over into here. Oh, it's big. Oh, no, don't want to do that. Oh, no. Don't apply.
It's meant to press shift. And then I do this. Fade it so I can see where it's meant to go. And then bung the lines over this. Godzilla fan 2004 says, Jack, are you going to make a top 10 favourite movies of all time list? Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that, because there's so many movies coming out. And there's so many movies coming out from franchises and stuff that I really like. Very hard for me to actually definitively say which is what I consider a top 10 movie list. Okay, so what I might do with this is just play around with it, like image. Warp it to fit. Okay. Well, there we go, folks. That is what I've done thus far for this frame. Probably just change the lighting on this. Yeah, I'll be fiddling around with that. Anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's stream. It's actually been a quite interesting one, good conversation, and definitely will be archiving this one on the channel in the coming days. If you can, please visit the Patreon and donate if you can to helping the cause of bringing Dino-Defenders to life. If you cannot support, please share the page for my Patreon with all your friends and family, or whoever you think would be inclined to see this become a reality. I am very excited to get back into this. As I've mentioned, I've just picked up 2 new jobs, so time for this has been cut dramatically. But if the Patreon reaches this goal, then I will obviously draw my focus towards this. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream, and I will catch you tomorrow when I'll be streaming Jurassic Explorer and continuing on with probably this frame that you see above me right here. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip. Bye!